Alright guys, we're going to start off with an example of a pre-game warm-up. So we'll take a look at a couple different examples here, but this is one of your basic drills that is just absolutely essential to every game warm-up when it comes to warming up your arms for shooting. So as you can see here, we have a group of 3 girls, and it starts out with the person. The ball is on top. That person will then pass to their left. They'll take one pump fake at the goalie, pass to the person on your right, they'll pump fake it at the goalie, then pass it up to you. It's your job to shoot and score thereafter. You're then going to rotate to your left, and then to the position on the right, and then you'll go to the back of the line. That was another really good example right there that you just saw by Camilla, and it looks like we're coming up here on the 2-minute warning. So that buzzer that you just heard, that means 2 minutes. It's time to go into the corners. So what you're seeing right now is lining up, and we should be getting ready to start here. All right, there it is. So Jules, quick to start. She's the sprinter. I'm going to go ahead and freeze that frame for a second, just to kind of explain what you're looking at. The person closest to the bottom of the screen, she is the sprinter. The person to the right of the sprinter is the trailer. In the beginning of every quarter, the referee will drop the ball in the middle of the pool. It's the sprinter's job to flick the ball back from the middle of the pool to the trailer, who will then gain possession and likely make a pass to start off the quarter. Obviously, this is an essential part of every quarter because it determines who gets the first possession, because this often sets the tone for the game. As you can see in the video, Miraloma wins the sprint. Camilla takes a shot. Unfortunately, this is just out of frame, but I did hear Coach Contreras say, get on defense, so we can safely assume that the shot went just out of bounds, and the other team is now going to get their possession. So just to freeze frame right here again, we have really good pressed coverage everywhere in the pool. We've kept the ball way back. You probably see at the 1, 2, 4, and 5, we have tight defense, and that is exactly what we want. But my one critique here is in the middle. You see Bree appears to be struggling with the hole set, and what we don't hear is calling for help. If the hole set was sealed there, it would be an easy pass in. Luckily, we got saved by the bell a little bit. The other team appears to have made an offensive foul. Camilla just got a foul again, passed into Kate. Let's see. And that's a kick out. So, okay, the referee has just made the call. The offense was committed within the 2-meter line, which means that what would have been a kick out is now a 5-meter. Now, if you're familiar with a penalty kick in soccer, it's essentially the same concept. You get one shot, you're at the 5-meter mark, and it's unobstructed. It's between you and the goalie, and you only get one try. If it's not one fluid motion, then it's disqualified. And we just saw, I believe that's Kate who just took the shot, and it's a score. Fantastic start to the game. Now, after every goal, you're going to have to set up. So, as you can see, the other team is swimming to their half, while Miraloma is swimming back to go ahead and set up defense. All right, foul. Free pass. The other team, what's this? The other team holds on to it. Way to stay pressed, girls. Oh, freeze frame. What we have right here, as you can see, it appears that the other team is beating our defense right there in the center. So what we see is Camilla is nearly a full body length away. And right now, that opponent is a bigger threat than Julia's. So what we would like to see is for Julia to slide onto this offender and do a switch right there. That way that person is never out in the open like they are right now. Luckily, again, that's an offensive foul on their team. So what's going to happen is it's our ball, and we got saved by the bell a little bit. Okay? Now, ball is out of frame. Can't exactly tell, but there we see it. The ball is in the goalie's hands. Okay. Okay, this does not look like a good situation here. If it weren't for that offensive foul there by the other team, well, what we would have had was a 4-on-3 situation, which is never good, obviously. Not a pleasant situation for your goalie to be in, not a pleasant situation for your teammates to be in. So what we always like to say is stay with your man and give it 100%, 100% on defense, because that is where it matters. Okay, what we just saw down there, it was a free pass. It was a foul for our team. But when the other team touched it and threw it to their goalie, that girl got kicked out. So after that kick out, they're going to be setting up for 5-on-6. So we are up. We have 6 people. They have 5. And on 5-on-6 opportunities, you should score almost 100% of the time. Unfortunately, that went out of frame again, but it appears that the other team is setting up offense, so that must have been caught by the goalie or just out of bounds. Here we appear to be in good position on defense. Nice switch there in the middle. Stay pressed. Everybody appears to be pressed. We have a drive in the middle. They don't have anything. You're on the right side of her. That's good. Shot on top of the cage, so no big deal there. Go ahead and sprint on offense. Now, one of the things that I'm not seeing right here is winging out. Now, a wing out is when you swim your defenders into the middle of the pool, and then you turn on your back and go towards the outside of the pool. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to cram your defenders into the middle of the pool, and they won't be ready when you spread out, and that's going to give you a huge opportunity for the goalie to give you a big pass, almost the full length of the pool if they're capable. Now, I missed a little bit of that there, but it appears that we scored again, and they went ahead and set up. So here they appear to be running something. That was an offensive. It looked like the girl, number 16 on the other team there, wrapped her hand around our player. So that was a foul on the other team. They continued to go after our player. 2 fouls in a row within a couple seconds of each other. I don't remember the exact number, but that is a kick out. That was an amazing finish there. It appears that Camilla got the rebound and stuffed it in. That was a good play. Way to follow through with that. Now we're going to set up one more time. We appear to be making subs. Subs can be made at any point in time when the ball is dead. They can be made during timeouts. They can be made during quarters, halves, whatever that might be. And, of course, if there's an injury, substitutes are always legal. Again, we have a really good example here of staying pressed from early on. We have a drive going here. You're on the right side of her. And, you know, this offense from the other team is really just crowding themselves in the middle and not giving themselves a lot of opportunities to move the ball around or score. Now, that offensive was actually not on the ball. It was on the 3 position. So that was on the person on top in the middle. She just swam right over the Marijuana player, and unfortunately, that is a turnover. So we have a foul drawn on the far side. Looks like they're just inside the 5, so they can't shoot. Ball is in center, and no good. Ball given back to the goalie, and now they're going to start swimming it back. This is a good example of a better transition here. We had way more Marijuana girls on defense, which is how it should be. A pass to the weak side, but unfortunately it is intercepted. And it looks like somebody from Marijuana just got kicked out. So the other team should be setting up 6-on-5 here. Okay, they make the pass. that we're going to go ahead and pause right there. I think this is a good opportunity to go over 6-on-5 defense. Now, in the standard 6-on-5 setup, you'll have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions, just like regular. However, they're going to be moved around, so it's not really your typical setup. And the reason they change it is to give more players more shooting opportunities, which means on defense, in order to counteract that, there's a specific way that is the most effective in defending against all those shooting opportunities. And that is pretty much putting all of our players in front of the cage so that they can block at least some angle that they would be shooting from. Now, well, that clearly didn't happen here in this example. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up another image to show you where the defenders should go. As you can see, for the two people in post, they essentially have a person behind them, a person in front of them for both people in post, and then one person in between them. Now, the goal of the person between right post and the goal is to block the shot from the 1 and a shot possibly from the 4. It is also to keep the number 2 position on lockdown. The person between the post and the 4 position is to shut down number 2 and block any shots coming from number 4. Now, the same thing is mirrored on the other side for the 3, 5, and 6 positions. The person in the middle, their job is to block shots coming from the 4 and the 5 positions, as well as to keep the 2 and the 3 position on lockdown. So that shot did not make it, but it was a 2 meters. So that means that the goalie touched it and it went out of bounds, which means it goes back to the shooting team. In this case, it's our opponent. Now that referee is telling the opponent that she needs to back up to the 2 meter and to the very corner of the pool, and then play will resume. That was a very good effort. So right there, we stayed pressed. We really didn't give them any opportunity to pass. So they forced a bad pass, and it was really extremely close to a clean steal. Unfortunately, we just have to watch going over their arms. Now, what we have right there is Camille was on the wrong side of her defender. So that person was able to receive a clean pass and somehow managed to get a crazy shot like that off. Let's see. So if I'm keeping track correctly, it should be 3-1 at this point. And Maryland was starting with the ball. Here we go. Okay, early pass, just out of frame, so unfortunately we can't see it. Okay, so the whistles in that situation indicated that there was a kick out of some sort. We set up and we evidently made a quick pass and shot that scored. The score is now up 4-1. We are in very good position for this game. You guys can probably notice another substitution going on. Okay, and once again, we have that early press. This is good. This is exactly what defense should look like. You either want to be between the ball and your offender or between your offender and the goal. It depends on what your purpose is, whether you want to block the shot or block the pass. That would be the end of the quarter. So as you can see, the girls are swimming back to their corners. You'll get probably a 2-minute break before lining up and beginning the sprint for another round of play. That's the whistle. You can see the other team is now on this side. And let's see who's going to win the sprint. Maryland wins the sprint again. Go, Lady Mats. And a quick pass, good. Oh, and just a little bit overshot with that pass in. They're going to kick it back to the goalie. Now, this goalie is going to look for an early pass doesn't quite see anything. The Marijuana girls are pressed already, and this is exactly what we want to see. No matter where they are in the pool, we want them pressed, and this is what shuts offense down. You can probably see that girl just wasted 10 seconds because she couldn't see any passes because our defense was so heavy on her. Now, unfortunately, the ball is a little bit out of frame there, but it was they were able to get the pass into set, but it looks like their whole set in that situation just wasn't able to capitalize on that opportunity. So that was an offensive foul. The pass was a little bit wide. What do we have here? A pass from the goalie almost got there, but the person wasn't paying attention. We're going to go ahead and crash. We have 2 Marijuana, but it's a foul. Alright, so in this situation, we're going to need to cover up. Since we had 2 people on that offender, we're always going to need to cover up. So that means there's somebody open, and we need to cover all the bases. We got lucky in that case. They weren't able to capitalize on that opportunity either. So it's going to be Marijuana ball. You know, we're not seeing a lot of movement, and our whole set is double teamed in this case. Take the shot. Blocked by the goalie, but you can see Camilla. She's taking it out to the 2. Quick, easy pass. Passes it back to Camilla, but we're not seeing a lot of movement. We're also not seeing a correct setup here in this case. Luckily for us, that was an easy kick out, pass to Camilla really quick, and, well, she made that look easy. Stuffs it in the bottom corner. Goalie unable to do anything. I believe that puts us up 5-1. Here we go, people. That's a foul. Going to be a free pass. She's looking, but not going to do anything with it. What's she going to do? We have a release. Oh, stuffed. Put back by Camilla. What's she looking to do now? Okay, she makes a pass. Wastes half their shot clock. Okay, it's a foul. Free pass. Back up top. Foul. Takes a shot on her back. Now, that is an example of shooting on your back. If you don't have your balance, if you don't have your legs and your core under you, that will happen almost every time. You saw that shot sailed over the cage. And, I mean, that is one of the primary goals of your defender. They want you to be off balance if you're ever going to take a shot. Oh, we had a set pass. Camilla went ahead and took the shot, and it rolled just off the goalie's fingers into the cage. That is a goal that puts Marijuana up 6-1. We have a lot of good examples of a lot of core ideas, core principles to the girls water polo game. So let's go ahead and move on to another game. Alright guys, welcome back. So just to give you a quick introduction, this is going to be the varsity girls team playing at Antelope High School. This is one of the nicer pools in the area, but I will warn you that the water does sting after a while. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. You can see the referees prepping. And there's that whistle, so you can see the sprint. Unfortunately, we have the opposing team on our side, and we only have 1/4 of this. But it looks like the opposing team is going to start out with the ball. Now, that offender was maintaining total control over the ball there. Let's go ahead and see. That's going to be a ball under. So this is one of the things that we didn't actually see in the first example. A ball under is when you push the ball under forcefully as a defender on the offense. And now what that does is it forces a turnover in your favor. So we We got the ball on offense there. Unfortunately, got it quickly stolen away. The offender apparently is very comfortable and set. Takes a quick shot and puts one in. Miraloma down 1-0. Now, with the whole set that strong, typically that would indicate that a change in strategy should be issued. Now, there's a couple different strategies that you can use. One of the most common is called the M drop. Now, that's where you double up your defense on one of the opponents, and that can be their whole set. It can be an outside shooter, or it can be a utility on the 1 or the 5. The M drop is a very useful strategy, but it takes practice, and because it takes compensation elsewhere for the extra defender being used on the overpowered player. So what we just saw there, it was an unsuccessful possession for Miraloma here, and this whole set appears to have it again. Very comfortable, taking her time, passes it. She slides out, passes it right in. Takes a shot, it goes in. However, I can't tell what the call was. I do believe it was a shot clock violation. So it is Miraloma ball. Miraloma's on offense. We have the ball up top. Pass it to 5. It's gonna be a free pass. It's a foul, so it's our pass. Now their defense, they're playing zone, which gives us 2 open passes. They can make that pass good. Unfortunately, just didn't have control of the ball there. It's going to be our opponent's ball. They pass it back to the goalie, and this is a good transition for Miraloma. There's no place where Miraloma is really getting beat here. So as long as we stay pressed in this case and prevent those passes, we should be in good shape. Unfortunately, we didn't have good position in the center, and they were able to get a good drive there, and had the pass been made, it likely would have been an easy score. Fortunately, they didn't see the pass. They were forced to take an outside shot, and it just went out of bounds. You know, it appears that that was a kick out, and the person swam to the corner there. You could probably hear Coach Chris yelling, "Set up, set up, set up," but that just didn't happen. And 5-on-6, it's one of the most important aspects of water polo because it's one of the easiest places to capitalize and make a lot of points. Now, on a 5-on-6, you should almost always score because we have the advantage. That is the purpose of a 5-on-6. Unfortunately, we didn't set up, we couldn't capitalize, and it got turned over there. Now, that turnover, it was an awesome steal. Unfortunately, we just didn't protect that ball. Now, that was an issue of speed and likely conditioning. After a game like this, there's been lots and lots of back and forth, and conditioning, stamina becomes the most important thing. Now, that's going to be a foul. Let's see what she does with it. Waited too long to take a shot, passes it to whole set. It's a foul, so they can't shoot. They're inside the 5. If you ever fouled and you're inside the 5, you cannot take a shot. Passes it out, passes it back, but they're inside the 2-meter. Now, if you're ever on offense and you're inside the 2-meter without the ball, not moving towards the ball, that is going to be an offensive foul, and it'll be turned over every time. If the ball goes in, but you're in the 2-meter, the goal will be nullified. It is essentially one of the worst places to be if you don't have the ball and you're inside the 2-meter. Now, that was a decent possession there. We had a quick shot. We were able to set up, shot from up top, which is not necessarily ideal, but it was just outside, and it hit the edge of the pool, which means it's out of bounds, and it's a turnover. Now, we see a bad pass from the opposing team. Great pass up. We have a lead. Now, this, we just missed out on the 2-on-1 opportunity, and we had the ball intercepted there. Now, she's going to swim it up, and we are not in great position here on defense. We would like to see a little bit more help here. All right, that's a foul. Great stop by the goalie, but it would have been invalid anyway. Again, that goal would have been nullified because she's not allowed to take that shot because she was inside the 5-meter. Another example there of a ball under. So unfortunately, we just weren't ready for that pass. The placement wasn't quite there, bounced off the head. All the other team has to do is push that ball under, and it becomes theirs. Okay. You know, Antelope's not really setting up any type of traditional offense here, and that might be because we're doing such a good job pressing them. They haven't scored anything on us since the very beginning. Okay, we have a drive in. Shot. Hits the bar, but it does not go in. A little bit of luck, a little bit of skill with that one. Pass up. There it is. Oh, so this provides me an opportunity. Before we see the rest of that, we want to talk about what just happened there. So the girl who had lost her cap tried to pick the ball up from the top. Now, of course, I understand. It is very, very hard to get rid of old habits, but if you learn it the right way, it will be one of your most valuable qualities as a player. You will always, 100% of the time, want to pick the ball up from the bottom. This gives you total control. If your hand is on top of the ball, all they have to do is push your hand underwater, and it's a ball under. Game over. Reason number 2, it's that much slower and it's that much easier for them to make a steal on you. So, while we're on the topic, skills practice, always make sure you're picking up the ball from the bottom. Let's see how this plays out. Took the shot, unfortunately it got blocked, but the silver lining here is that it was touched by the goalie, which means it's a 2-meter. That means it's going to be mirror along the ball, and we get essentially a new shot clock, a second chance. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you learned something.